Hey friends, it's Renee Bradshaw, and this is going to be a past life reading for a client. You can see the kids' books over here. Let me see if I can move this a little. That's the library, shared by all. But so I did this setup a little bit differently, and so because of that, I did shuffle and get everything done beforehand. Also, I did my meditating, and when I did that, I got a couple pieces of information. I heard the year 1419. That was either birth or death. I'm drawn to birth right now, but I just because that's typically what I get, but that does not mean that we might find out further as we go along. Then I'm also drawn to your name was Joanna or Joanna during this lifetime, or Joan, um, Joanna, a different variation like this. But I believe in today's terms, it was given to me as the name Joanna. And then I also feel that Ireland plays a part. I see the word Ireland. Now, I'm not sure if you're from Ireland or if that's someone else significant in this life or what, but Ireland is definitely the place. Excuse me. Jeez, I sneezed. The the country that came to me. So this is a client's reading. This is a client I read for recently, just spirit guide reading. I didn't go back and watch the spirit guide reading, but I don't usually because I don't want to be influenced by what the guides told me before. I want everything to come in fresh. But I know that she did remind me that I felt that her spirit guide was connected with her current bloodline um, over the years. And then what she's interested in today is she's been avoiding meditation, yoga, and journaling. And she promotes it, she believes in it. She's a strong believer in it, but she struggles to commit herself. And she's wondering, if there's anything in this past life that could help her see what's going on there. And so, definitely, when I was meditating and drawing cards, I was asking the guides to help with that. So, excuse me. What I've set up is a early life, midlife, end of life, current life, and each pile starts with a goddess guidance card because I'm feeling these are just so powerful in the past life readings lately. In many readings, actually, they're very powerful, but I'm really feeling them in the past life readings. Um, so I did that and then drew four cards to kind of give some background. Um, I may be compelled to pull more cards. I may receive information. I've been just receiving a lot of information lately, and so you'll see me. One of my clients pointed out that I seem to fidget a lot when I'm start just kind of rambling on, and excuse me. That's when I'm just receiving and I'm presenting that information as it's pretty much coming. So early life, midlife, towards the end of your life, and then this current life, how these things are affecting here, what's going on here with the whole meditation situation. So we're going to start. I lay these cards out as though you're sitting here, not sitting there. So, like that's a reverse card. These are upright. So, just to point that out before we go in. Sometimes the energy feels different when I pick it up, and if it does, we'll go from there. But early life, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. Artemis, the guardian. So I was being drawn to, especially with this year 1419 that I received, I was already being drawn to the changes that were going around the world at that time with religion, with kind of pushing out a lot of the new ways, or excuse me, pushing out a lot of the old ways and really pressing in the new. Um, so I'm feeling like you definitely came automatically. I feel like you came from a family who was very much into the old. Yeah, okay. So I'm definitely feeling like there was a protection issue. Okay, so I feel this 1419, I'm getting this as your birth, and I'm getting this as your birth. I feel like something in 1419 was rapidly changing around the world, or in Ireland, or just in your community. But there was definitely a rapid change in environment and the way people believed. So we have this right away. We have this Artemis guardian who is upright, who is strong. Kind of the goddess protecting you, and then this reversed Knight of Wands. So I'm feeling like a lot of fighting energy, maybe hiding, definitely with the strength and the Knight of Wands being reversed. I feel like it's just a definite time of things changing. Um, Things being ripped away from your family, maybe. I'm really feeling as though. See, I feel. Have we received this card before? For you, I can't remember, but I'm feeling here, I'm just this wanting to pass down the old ways, and I'm drawn to like this child reaching out and she's not receiving anything. But at the same time, we have the Star card, which is all about as above, so below, kind of cosmic spiritual energy flow in a complete circle. Sorry. So, with these 5 cards, what I'm feeling is you were born into a pagan family, a spiritual family. It was let me move these over so you can actually see them. It was a time when you were born, where you were born, that was normal. That was good. That was what everyone was this pagan families, these believers, these people that worked with nature and used every piece of the beast when they killed it. So I feel like that is definitely the time you were born into, but at the same time, it was just a rapid change. Like I'm feeling like there was a lot of darkness around. Like I'm definitely getting hiding energy. Family hiding you away, maybe, or hiding their beliefs away. I'm feeling like a lot of this protector energy, the strength and this knight and the guardian, a lot of having to call not only on their natural strength, like physical strength, but also a lot on the guides and the goddess to give that strength and to pull it and kind of protect you guys. So I definitely that's here. That's the beginning. Those are the very, and I mean these are like the very early ages, like of your life. So I'm feeling, even though when you were born, I feel like life was changing everywhere. I feel probably the first, I'm getting like 6 years was just perfect. Like everything was good, how it should be. And after that, things started changing, and that's definitely when the hiding started taking place. So, and with Ireland, I was talking with another client on this. I'm not really up on all my world history, dates, events. I mean, I do know the very basics of, like, say, the witch trials or something around the world, but very basics. So I don't know. I can't solidly feel exact, like, wars or whatever. I can only tell you that there was something there during this time, something going on. And the moon card. So the moon card pops up a lot for me when I'm looking for further guidance. It's really like my individual card from the spirit guides. It's just telling me that I'm on the right track. So I'm really feeling a lot of this energy so far that we're picking up is just that world changing, unfortunately. And not for the better. Not during that time. Was this during the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages? I really need to be better about my history. But I just feel here, I feel drawn here. This 4 of Wands, it's like that early energy that I'm seeing like a lot of that waviness up to the sky, like drawing down from the sky, drawing down from the gods. And I feel like that was like a lot of that protector strength right there. Um, and I'm definitely, that's 6 years old. Something major changed. Let's see. Well, it's either a bottom or a top, or it's the first card poking out sideways. Well, this isn't that literal. Death. Well, I mean, this time it is, but it's not always a literal death. So the death card. And then here, you know, so I really feel like there was a loss of one of your parents, if not both, at the age of 6, is what I'm really feeling here. And it was all because of this change in society and a change in the world, this removing of the old ways for the new ways, and that violent, forceful removal. So I feel like, yeah, at the age of 6 is when you lost one of your parents. And then I feel that whole hiding feeling coming after that. Easy does it. So this is midlife. This is mostly, I would say, if you equivalent to today, I would say this would be like your late 20s to your 50s or 60s. So whatever during this time period would have been the middle section of your lifespan. And this was reversed, so I'm feeling very reversed energy here. Easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So because we're getting that reversed energy, I'm definitely feeling as though, yes, there was a need to hurry or to force things to happen. Nothing was happening in perfect timing. So I definitely feel like that hiding, that lying, that keeping yourselves away from the world. Yeah. And then, so we have, so that easy does it, which I'm getting the opposite of that. And then we have the Devil card, Wheel of Fortune, the reversed 10 of Swords, and the reversed Emperor. So I feel like, if this was something happening in the country or town or within your village, I'm feeling with this reversed Emperor, there was like a force, there was a overthrow, and because of that, this was the person, and I'm drawn to like these, my own spirit guide that I see very often comes to me wearing antlers, and so I'm drawn to this as kind of like that old pagan king, really being thrown out of place, and the world basically going crazy, topsy-turvy. The invention of the devil at that point. Didn't I have 4 cards? Oh, yes, sorry. And the invention of the devil, even though this is like the temptation card, I just feel like right here we see, this was the time when people came in and started calling the old pagan gods were the devil, and people were doing devil worship, and by worshiping these gods. And I mean, that's not true, but that was what the belief was on, and that's what happened. So I really feel again that again, that's definitely the feel that I'm having with all of this. Now the 10 of Swords, actually upright, I find this to be a fairly positive card, because there might be a little bit of a backstabbery and a cycle ending, but when a cycle ends, we get to experience a whole brand new awesome cycle. Well, with this being reversed, I just really feel like just this negative, dark energy that was all around. The Wheel of Fortune, the Karma card, I'm feeling as though the karma was not taking play here. Like you were doing what you should be doing to be a good human being. I feel like you were spiritually involved. It was you were hiding it, but it was definitely part of your life. Um, but for some reason, karma was just missing. I don't know if, no, I shouldn't say karma was missing. That's not right. To you, yes, to you, it felt like karma was missing. Like other people, are doing these horrible, awful things, and here I am, like, taking care of these sick families, and I'm just taking eggs for, or nothing at all sometimes, or just to sleep in their barn. And um, I'm absolutely drawn to you just feeling that lack of karma right then. And it was not karma, but just the force of so many people, so much darkness around the world, that it was really a dark time for so many people. Um, so I feel like there was definitely a rush within that situation. You felt like you could not sit still. You could not relax. You were constantly on the move, hiding who you were, even even doing things like being I feel like the strong midwife here, a midwife energy. So I feel like even in that, you couldn't be 100% honest with your clients. You couldn't completely tell them, I'm giving you this vial because it's a potion and it does this. It was like, well, it's just water, or superstition, or blessed water by the priest. I'm feeling blessed water by the priest. So I'm just really drawn to, there was no time to sit and reflect and wonder. It was just constant worry. um I feel like witches were really being come down on during this point. There was definitely no, um, and I saw the word Ireland at the beginning, but I keep seeing England. I mean, it could be that just in my mind, only knowing those two places from images I've seen, that they just both seem so green and stuff to me, that I'm getting them mixed up. But I really feel more England. Um, but I really see just the constant, like, on the move, constant, like a mask over your face, like disguises, um, during this period here. That was for many years. That was a long time. Um, I feel like there was definitely like a strength inside of yourself. I mean, we've seen quite a few major arcana cards here, and I feel like that, when those pop up a lot in a past life reading, I feel like they talk a lot about this being a major life that has a strong influence on you over the years, over your other lifetimes. So with all these major arcana cards here, I do definitely feel that. I gotta take a sip of my water. Sorry. Okay. So later on in life, or your death, um, so okay. Even though there was all this hiding going on, I've been getting this feeling that, obviously we're learning about all this, talking about all this, because it had direct influence on your death. Well, then we have this card, the High Priestess, Dana. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So I feel this card is right away telling me, um, you had enough of the hiding. You had enough of running, being on the run, and you decide to sit still, and start teaching, or start being honest. Start being honest with, like, your clients or your customers. Start being honest with yourself, with your friends, with your neighbors. So I really feel this whole honesty into the witch, witch life. I even feel like you might have, like, played into some of that satanic stuff. Like, not that you were satanic, but you would maybe scare religious people that said something by pretending, which I'm feeling like was not a good idea to do. But there was a time, I can see you with white hair and wrinkles, and I feel there was a time where you were just done and annoyed. I feel like you aged faster during this lifetime. Very fast. I mean, I know people used to age faster anyways, but I feel just very fast aging. So I feel like that was something you played into just to kind of um, scare other people. Okay, and then, well, this is, okay, so we have I'm getting like the Ireland feel now. The Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords. Both of these witches are just turning their back and walking away. Um, Her flying away in the middle of the night is a good idea, and she is walking towards something better. So I'm really drawn towards Ireland now. Um, I feel like you had this, you were scaring people, you were becoming who you were, and you found out there was a place you could go in Ireland. And I don't know how they were as a whole for witches or pagans, but I do feel that you knew of a place um, where it would be safe for you. Um, we have this Queen of Swords, which that emotion. I'm drawn to that also being like that High Priestess energy, but like where this one was in control of the emotions reversed. I'm feeling like really like not in control, like rushing through. Like this move to Ireland, I really feel like was a rush decision. It wasn't something that you planned out entirely. And so I feel like even though you knew that or you had heard that there was a place that was safe for you, um, I feel like when you got there, because you hadn't done the research, because you just plowed through, because you were used to not sitting still. Um, oh, you didn't sit still during this lifetime. You didn't meditate. You didn't do yoga. You didn't do a lot of that kind of stuff because you were constantly moving. And so there was the moving to stay alive earlier on. There was no chance to be easy, and then there was the moving again when it came to fleeing the country, basically. And then this King of Pentacles, upright. It's about that abundance, finding financial security, life security, not worrying. And so I feel getting this card here is definitely this abundance was not there, and I almost am getting the feeling that this was like a trap situation. Whoops. Okay. So I said a whole bunch. It's too many cards. That was not a divine throw. That was my hands being clumsy when it's way too many cards. But and again, come on, Renee. Let me just shuffle them. So I'm feeling there was definitely a trap laid, a betrayal. So the person that told you that I'm getting the name Derek or Darren, Daryl, something of this nature. He was the one who told you about this place overseas where you could go. And I feel like this was more or less his job to kind of trick witches, trick covens. I'm seeing him getting you and several friends onto a boat. When you got on this boat, no, I don't see a boat. No. It's large, though. So what is it? Okay. I feel like there's some kind of cargo situation. It's like a cargo situation. It's like something you think you can hide in. And then the next day, you'll be able to go. The next day or a few days later, you'll be able to go to Ireland and find this safe place for you and your people. So I feel like when you got in there, you weren't the only ones. You stepped in, and I can see it's almost like skeletons and almost like mummy type situation going on in here. It was like it was definitely a trap. And when they brought you there, it's like they left you there. So there was that reverse chariot, another major card here, and the reverse lovers card. So I'm definitely feeling like more of that. So I feel like this man that tricked you, he had somehow gotten under your skin and gotten to you and influenced you, and you really, really believed him. And I don't mean he wasn't just some random guy off the street. He really put some careful, calculated work into getting your trust. I almost feel like it could have been a year or more, and there was probably an engagement somewhere in here. And perhaps he was even engaged to you before he decided to do this, but I feel as though there was money involved. He could make money by getting you and your coven to whatever this carrier is, this room, this cargo thing I'm seeing. Maybe it's even like a tunnel or cavern, not cavern, cave. So I'm seeing you guys like just trapped in there, and they were mad and scared. So I'm seeing all this, just this bringing about the end, just that trapment. And it was really like this whole life of just continuing to be on the move, be on the move, be on the move, without really placing any roots, without taking times to really root yourself, or to meditate, to grow real connection. I feel like with the goddess, like I feel like you lost your mother at such a young age that though you had gifts from your family line, gifts that were possibly would come more naturally to you than to others, because so many in your family had them. So I feel like these gifts were just things that you used, and you kept moving, and you did that thing where you scared people and made them think that you were like a Satan type witch, rather than a real pagan witch. And sorry. So just that moving, that never really understanding why or how the connection was there in you, but just that strong strength that you didn't have to build on. But I really feel like this lifetime, so we'll see here what's in this lifetime and how this is connecting, but I'm really feeling like this lifetime right here was just all about movement and staying alive, basically. That's all it was staying alive. Until the end, when you met a very not nice ending. And I almost feel like maybe some of the witch stuff had started to slow down a little bit. But that there were still many who were extremists, and that this person who betrayed you was definitely working for and was partially extremist. So then this current life, and I'll read the guidebook for this current life since it's very fitting currently. So Maeve, cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So I already feel like I can see how that would work with getting that meditation desire. Because I mean, if you're a little too stressed out, stress, meditation is good for stress, but if we're too stressed out and too much is going on, there's no way we're going to be able to meditate. At least not, I can't meditate. I'm not going to say you can't. So the message from Maeve: all of life is I can't talk right now. Hold on. Cyclical. The moon, the stars, and the very universe. Life inhales and then exhales again. Why are you surprised or upset that you too have cycles? There are times when you'll feel energized, awake, and alive. There are other times when you feel isolated and shy. Your body too goes through pronounced cycles and changes. Celebrate these rhythms and embrace them as the essence of lifeblood that courses through you. Make time to rest. One of the meanings of this card. Take better care of your body. Seek support for dealing with crises. So, working with Maeve, Celtic goddess Maeve celebrates her femininity. Her sexual appetite is legendary, and she's been said to favor kings as her lovers. Legend says that Maeve invoked labor pains on an army seeking to invade her land, and that she demanded that the battle cease during her menstrual cycle. Call upon Maeve for relief from pain associated with feminine cycles, including menstruation, labor, and delivery, and menopause. So we went a little off there, but I mean, when we're women, that's a major part of us. And those cycles, whether we want to or not, and whether we have a good handle on our emotional selves while we're having that time in the month or not, is definitely... okay. Wow. So that's definitely something that's all connected. If you just got that stress that's going on, or if you notice that you're more inclined to meditate when either the moon is at a certain phase or you're in a certain phase of your cycle during the month, start watching those, I feel like is what they're saying. But I'm definitely drawn to seeing this card as that's not, this was the lifetime that you had a strong psychic ability and magical strength, but that you never really took the time, you weren't able to really get a hold of those cycles and rhythms and figure out how your body works. It's time to figure that out for you. So, the reversed Six of Swords here, we see her chasing a fairy, and it's very much like that, chasing a fantasy. And with it being reversed, I feel like you live too much in the real world sometimes. You really would do good to really chase your fantasy. And then with the reversed High Priestess, I feel like, we had the High Priestess down here too. But I'm feeling, though, this is really a reminder, if you don't embrace, the imagination and the reality all at the same time, you're not going to be able to achieve that High Priestess status, pretty much, or not status, not on a piece of paper, but just mental, spiritual, that strong intuition. That's going to be something that's out of your grasp unless you can chase after that imagination. And then we have the reversed Hierophant, and so right here, as soon as I flipped this card over, it kind of felt like there is something that you are keeping in your mind that is keeping you from meditating. And yes, I'm getting definitely connection from this past life, especially after seeing this other High Priestess card. But this to me is someone or something, some belief that that you have for this in this lifetime. Perhaps somebody in your tradition. I'm not sure if you're religious or spiritual, or, well, I know you're some kind of spiritual, obviously, but I don't know, what your exact path is, but I feel as though there's someone or something that you've watched or listened to, or you've read, they've given you their opinion on something, and you've taken that opinion because a lot of it actually does relate rather well to you, and a lot of it makes sense to you, and I'd say 80% of it makes sense to you, but there's 20% that's unattainable or confusing or doesn't seem right. And I feel like that is really this block inside of you. It's something that you've read or heard, and I feel like it either could be part of your tradition, or it could be a spiritual person that you've read their their spiritual books or something, and you feel like, oh wow, this person really understands me, gets me. Um, so I have to try to force myself to figure this out. So I mean, when it comes to meditating, like I know you said that you promote it, um, or I can't remember. I think you said you promote it, like you encourage other people to do meditation and yoga and journaling, but that you have a hard time doing it for yourself, even though you know it's a good thing. But so I feel like there's definitely like a block in here, like there's something that you're missing that you only think you're missing because that's how someone else does it. I don't feel like you're one of those people who's like tries to mirror themselves. I'm not getting that here at all. I'm not getting like you think you have to be exactly like this person, but I think when you're looking at this, maybe this meditation, um, or yoga or something, I feel like you're really feeling this this I have to do it like they do. I have to do all or nothing. I can't just do a quick 3-minute meditation. I have to get in here and do, sit in the correct position and sit outside with the sun on me and listen to the right music. But I'm drawn to like mindful meditation for you. Like, I don't know if you craft, like I think of yarn or fabric type things for good mindful meditation. And then when I see this knave, which is like the page of wands reversed, I'm feeling like there's definitely been times where you've been like trying to meditate or do yoga, and your mind has been on focusing on something else or has moved somewhere else, and I feel like you get really down on yourself, or get irritated with yourself, and then maybe even quit the meditation for that time because your mind wandered over, on the grocery list or something, instead of just on like this painting or a bird or whatever you're trying to, sit there and relax and look at. I feel like it's important to remember not to beat yourself up. Um, None of us are perfect, ever, 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 at anything. I don't feel like, even like masters, I feel like probably still make mistakes. They're just like us. And if you're sitting there like meditating and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm out of eggs. If I keep sitting here meditating, it's like 10 more minutes till I can get to the grocery store and get eggs. Ugh. So if you're meditating and say you're doing a 10-minute meditation and you realize you didn't get eggs, or just let it go. Let it go for those 10 minutes. I know it sounds so like duh, but like, have a piece of paper. Like, if that's what your hang up is, if it's like you're meditating and your mind goes somewhere else and you really can't just let it go and say, I'll focus on you in 10 minutes, have a piece of paper next to you and write eggs down. Or if your nose itches, don't be like, well, I have to stay in this perfect position to meditate or else it doesn't work. You know what? You're going to concentrate a whole lot less if your nose itches rather than if you just scratch it and you move real quick. So I feel those are definitely a couple things, because I feel like you have a mind, and some of it I feel like is probably like this influence of this life, other past lives that you've had, this life that you've had, but I feel like you have a mind that is just constantly working and going and moving. I feel like you have like one of those really logical and analytical minds, and with that, you run into problems with some of this stuff sometimes because your mind is just like go, 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 and you can't get it to slow down all the time. Even when you are successful at it, then you sometimes walk away feeling like maybe you've wasted time because you sat and did that for a half hour instead of folding the laundry that's been sitting there for a week. But that half hour will add time on, I feel like, to the end of your life. So doing the laundry can wait until you're watching, like, I don't know, Superstore that night or whatever, and you can fold the laundry then. So I'm drawn to like, because basically this is what I feel like the guides are trying to tell me, and it's coming out really jumbled. And I'm sorry, but I feel like because of that past life, because of the always having to be on the go and run to save your own life, like this legit have to go situation, your mind sometimes can't comprehend now. Now that I want to say mind, your spirit, yourself can comprehend now, like if something is worth thinking about at this moment, stressing out over and finishing, or if it's okay to sit down and relax and just be in a moment or two. This is something I definitely struggle with too. I have a hard time even watching TV sometimes, unless I have something in my hands. I have to like be coloring or knitting or something, so I have to be constantly doing something. And so meditation is something I've struggled with my whole life, and I've started to get a handle on it this year. Um, One thing I did want to suggest is something I've started to do this year is to overnight sleeping meditations by using like those low frequency, or maybe it's high frequency hertz musics, like 432 for healing, 432 hertz for healing. I listen to that a lot while I sleep, and I feel like that helps a lot with my meditating and with clearing my mind and really helping me focus my energy into that. So I don't know if that's something you want to do. That is something that came from me just now, not the guides, I don't think, but everything else has definitely been from them. Just this whole go go go. How do you get slow? Um, just take it one step at a time. Start with like see how long you can sit and think of the number one over and over again without something else popping into your mind, and see if you can get, a little bit further every single day. But that has been your past life reading. With these, so they feel like they come out of nowhere and then they get kind of pulled away from me. So I really don't remember a lot of what we talked about until we got to your current life. I do remember that we talked about 1419 and a lot of the way the world was changing. And then I do remember that I saw your death in a surrounded by your coven, by your friends, possibly some family, left alone. But I do feel like your soul has become stronger over the years because of that, and I also feel that that might be why you have a strong bloodline family member for ancestor for a spirit guide. It might have been someone, it might have been your mother from this lifetime. That feels right to me. It might have been someone taken away from you when you were too young, or taken away before they could teach you everything. And they wanted to come back and show you and help you. But that has been the past life reading. The 8-card past life reading is what's officially called, but when I'm on video, I just kind of go and just work more with time. So it's usually about 35 to 40 minutes long. So if you watch this and you were intrigued and would like to get your own past life reading, you can find me over on Etsy by searching Witchy Renee Bradshaw. I hope you guys have a really blessed day. Bye.